Canadian citizenship revoked after 19 years. Hey guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. Meron akong pag-uusapan ngayon. Isa pong federal court decision makikita natin. Isa pong Canadian citizenship ni-revoke. Okay, almost 20 years later. Matapos matuklasan ng IRCC na, nako, medyo nagsinungaling daw pala ito doon sa kanyang, o sa mga panahon kung kailan siya ay nag-a-apply ng kanyang citizenship. Okay, this is a reminder, no, guys? Kung kayo po ay mag-a-apply, ano man yan, PR or citizenship, always be honest with your answers. Hindi porke kayo ay nakalusot, for example, if you misrepresented yourself one way or another, nakalusot kayo nung una, pwede pa rin po kayong habulin many years later, tulad na lang po na nangyari dito. Okay, let me put up this federal court decision. Okay, it's a fairly new one, issued May 27, 2026. Okay, so puntahan natin yung storya. So obviously, no, federal court decision po ito, ibig sabihin nagkaroon na ng decision to revoke his citizenship, yung IRCC. Ngayon, dinala po niya ito sa federal court para questionin, tama ba ang proseso na ibinigay sa akin? Hoping na isantabi itong revocation. Okay, because by the way guys, no, earlier ni-revoke din ng IRCC yung kanyang citizenship, pero naging successful niya nung unang beses niya itong dinala sa federal court, kaya sinantabi muna. But then yung IRCC, after some time lapse, nagkaroon po parang ng bagong regulations patungkol sa citizenship laws, binuksan muli yung kanyang kaso, at ayun, several years later, ni-revoke pa rin. At tuluyan ang na-revoke dahil, uunahan ko na kayo, itong federal court decision, kinampihan po yung decision ng IRCC. Dinismiss ang kanyang petition. So in effect, revoke talaga ang kanyang citizenship. All right? Okay, so the applicant for this federal court judicial review petition is from Vietnam. Okay? Currently resides in Canada as a PR. Sa Vietnam pinanganak at doon din po nagpakasal noong 1989. Meron din po silang dalawang anak. Okay, nung kanyang misis, 1984 and 1989 pinanganak. The applicant became a PR nung dumating po siya ng Canada bilang dependent ng kanyang tatay noong 1989. So the same year when the second child was born, ano? He arrived in Canada as a dependent child in a family class application. Ito ang una nilang pagkakamali. Noong sponsor siya ng tatay niya, hindi dinisclose na siya ay kasal at na siya ay merong mga anak. Okay? Ito po nakasulat. He was listed as a single dependent son on his father's application and no action was taken against the applicant at that time. Okay? So, nakaswerte pa siya. Hindi sila nakitaan ng misrepresentation at that time. Nakalusot. Okay. Ito na. So, nandito na po sila sa Canada. PR sila. 1994, the applicant was convicted of assault. And he received a 1-year probation and a suspended sentence. Okay, so nagkaroon siya ng conviction for assault. Many years later, October 2002, so about 8 years after he was convicted of assault, he applied for citizenship. Ayan. Tapos, medyo natagalan din muka yung kanyang citizenship application. Bandang 2004, wala pa pong decision dun sa kanyang citizenship. Abay, he was charged again with another crime. Well, charged pa lang to, no? Hindi pa convicted. He was charged with assault and assault with a weapon against his former partner. Okay? Sabi dito, the charges were withdrawn and the applicant was placed on a peace bond for 1 year. Alam mo guys, ang hindi pala klaro sa akin dito, kung ano nangyari dun sa kanyang misis at dun sa kanyang mga anak. Kung nakarating ba ng Canada or what. So anyway, ayun, no? The charges were withdrawn. Applicant was placed on a peace bond for 1 year. A couple of years later, habang subject siya sa isang peace bond, alamin ko nga muna, ano ba tong peace bond na ito? Okay, so it is a court order that requires someone to keep the peace. Kaya pala siya peace bond. Kailangan good behavior ka, usually daw for 1 year, pero mukhang more than 1 year sa kanya, no? Hindi siya conviction, pero kung i-violate niya yung peace bond na yan, pwede siya magkaroon ng criminal charge again. Okay? Anyway, so balik na tayo. So habang in effect pa po yung kanyang peace bond, December 2004, he was charged with breaking and entering with intent, possession of burglary tools, and 2 counts of assault, again involving the applicant's former partner. Ano ba yan? Talagang hindi tinantanan yung kanyang ex-wife, ano? Baka former partner. Okay, alam mo, I'm confused. Maybe the former partner is not the wife, but instead, a new partner here in Canada, no? Alright. Tapos in January 2006, ito na, 4 years after niya pong nag-apply for citizenship, na-approve ito. Ito pa ang pangalawang pagkakamali. Remember, nung una, hindi niya dineclare yung misis saka na meron siyang anak, right, in Vietnam. Ito ang pangalawa nilang pagkakamali. He did not disclose his recent criminal charges to IRCC. Okay? The applicant's second misrepresentation, I'm reading directly from the court decision, the applicant's second misrepresentation occurred when he signed the oath of citizenship form in February 2006 while his criminal charges were still pending, declaring that he had not been subject to criminal or immigration proceedings since filing his application for citizenship. Okay, take note, no? The form asks kahit na ikaw ay charged pa lang, hindi pa convicted. So siguro sinabi niya doon, obviously, no, wala siyang ganong hinaharap na kaso. Okay. So na-approve, no, yung kanyang citizenship. So yung December 2004 niyang kaso na breaking and entering, inaresto pala siya doon, ano, and he pled not guilty to all the charges. However, in April 2006, 2 years later, he was found guilty on all the counts, and he received a suspended sentence and 2 years probation. Okay. Again, citizen na po siya ng panahon nito. Ngayon, yung IRCC was notified in December 2006 that the applicant was charged with an indictable offense while his citizenship application was being processed. It's unclear to me how IRCC was notified. Hindi natin alam, baka may nagsumbong o talagang meron bang ganyang automatic alert system. Hindi rin natin alam. Okay? Wala po kasing nakasulat dito tungkol dyan. So, December 2006, it took 5 years before siya pinadalan ng IRCC ng tinatawag na Notice in Respect of Revocation of Citizenship. November 2011 po yan nangyari. At that time, hindi raw malocate si applicant. Pinadalan siya ng second notice of intent to revoke his citizenship. Another 4 years later, July 2015. For which, at that time, sinagot naman daw niya, nagpatulong pa nga daw sa isang paralegal. Okay, ang paliwanag doon, he had limited English proficiency and education. IRCC rejected the applicant's submissions and issued their decision to revoke the citizenship. I assume, no, yung sinasite niyang lack of English proficiency and education, parang sinasabi niya hindi niya naiintindihan yung pinirmahan niya dun sa oath form niya, no, nung siya ay nag-apply for citizenship. Okay? So, this was the first time his citizenship was revoked. November 2015. Yun nga lang, he challenged it in federal court and the first decision to revoke was squashed. Ibig sabihin, sinantabi. Okay? But another 3 years later, nagkaroon nga po, tulad ng sinabi ko, ng pagbabago sa citizenship rules, ni-reopen po ng IRCC ang kanyang kaso rather. Ang tagal ng proseso, no? Talagang hindi rin siya tinantanan ng IRCC. Ito na. Nakakuha raw ng email from IRCC si applicant bandang September 2024. Okay. Stating na yung IRCC magko-conduct muli ng assessment to determine whether they would reopen the citizenship revocation proceedings against him. At that time daw, the applicant was in Vietnam, and then bumalik ng Canada. Tapos months later, or 1 month later, sinagot po niya yung IRCC. At this time, hindi pa raw nagpatulong kahit kanino. He prepared without assistance from a legal professional. Kaya magdududa ka rin, ano? Doon sa sinasabi niyang lack of English proficiency. If may tunay siyang kakulangan in that aspect, I would assume it is best, right? To seek professional help in preparing your documentation. Lalo na sa napakahalagang kaso na ganito. Cut the long story short, guys, ang ending pa rin ay nirevoke ang kanyang citizenship. At tulad na nabanggit ko kanina, the federal court decision, this one, upheld that revocation. Okay. Curious ba kayo? Ano pa yung iba niyang mga arguments? Isa-summarize ko na lang. Yung una nga, na limited raw yung English niya. Okay. Pangalawa, meron din siyang sinasabi na remorseful naman daw siya. Pinagsisisihan niya ang pangyayari. Okay, sana raw finactor in yun. Pangatlo, meron siyang sinasite na humanitarian factors on how the decision might affect his elderly parents. Tsaka siya, meron din daw siyang healthcare needs. Meron siyang parang sinasabi, may sakit yata siya sa balikat, ganyan. At meron din siyang binabanggit na meron siyang negosyo dito sa Canada which might be affected with this whole situation kapag hindi daw siya maging citizen. At meron din siya, at pang-apat, meron din siyang sinasabi bakit hindi raw siya binigyan ng pagkakataon to have oral hearings, okay, about his case. But again, in the end, wala, nirevoke pa rin po. Now, puntahan po natin yung mismong sections pertaining to the two misrepresentations that happened. Sabi po ng court decision, the applicant's first misrepresentation occurred when he arrived in Canada, when he was listed as a dependent child on his father's application. So he failed to disclose he had a wife and 2 children. Had this information been known, the applicant may have been excluded from the father's application. And then the second misrepresentation, sabi dito, it occurred when he declared on his oath of citizenship that he had not been subject to any criminal or immigration proceedings since he had filed his application for Canadian citizenship. And shortly after his application, he was arrested December 2004 and was charged with 1 count of break and enter with intent, 1 count of possession of burglary tools, and 2 counts of assault. By failing to disclose these charges, the applicant prevented IRCC officials from accurately assessing his eligibility and performing critical checks for the protection, health, and safety of Canadians. The officer found had IRCC officials known this information, the applicant would have been prohibited from being granted citizenship. So yan po ang main points ng federal court decision na ito. Ang daming matututunan, guys. Always be honest with your applications. Okay, misrepresentations can haunt you years later. All right? And by the way, baka curious kayo, ano na kaya mangyayari dito kay Kuya? Okay, interestingly, guys, he is still in Canada, still a permanent resident. Okay, nakasulat din po yan dito. As a permanent resident, which he becomes after his citizenship is revoked. Okay, the applicant is entitled to enter, work, and remain in Canada. Alright, hindi ko alam kung meron lang po ba itong certain period of time na dapat palipasin at baka maaari po siya ulit mag-apply for this citizenship. Maybe. I am not sure about that. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? I look forward to reading your comments. See you guys in the next one. Bye!